Hi, Miss Keneva's class. We're starting with problem 5, topic 12.2 in the Practice Buddy. Last time we did problems 1 through 4. For this problem, we're converting from cups to pints. I remember that there are 2 cups in each pint. I'm going from small to large, so that means I'm going to need to divide. So I have 1/3 divided by 2. Now, if you remember from class, when we're dividing fractions, we can actually do a special little strategy of just switching and flipping. Okay, so we're switching it to multiplication, and then we're just going to flip this over. So instead of 2 over 1, we're going to have 1 over 2. And it's the same thing. So I'm going to do that. And so now all I have to do is multiply across. 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 2 is 6. So I have 1/6. So therefore my answer is 1/6 pint. Let's move on to question 6. Convert the unit of capacity. 5 1/6 quarts equals how many pints? I'm going to click on the icon again to see what it is equivalent to. I have 1 quart equals 2 pints. Now if I'm going from a unit that is larger to one that is smaller, I'm going to need to multiply or divide. Okay, so I'm going to need to multiply to get my answer. So I'm going to multiply 5 1/6 quarts by 2 because I have 2 pints in each quart to find my answer. So you can see I set my problem up like so. I have my whole number over here, the 5. This is where I got it from. And 1/6 over here. So I'm still multiplying 5 1/6 by 2. I just broke it apart so I can do it a little bit more easily again. So I have 5 times 2, which is 10. Very good. So I'm going to write 10 here. And I'm going to need to add that to whatever my product is over here on the right. 1/6 times 2. Now, to make this a little bit more easy again, I'm going to put it over a denominator of 1. I've got 1 times 2, which equals 2. That's going to be my numerator. And then for my denominator, I have 6 times 1, which is 6. Very good. So then my answer is going to be 10 plus 2 6, which equals 10 2 6. Now some of you may actually be able to reduce this. Again, this is something you'll do more in 6th grade. But if you'd like to do it, you can think, okay, can I divide my numerator and my denominator by something to make it a little bit smaller? And I mean, it still equals the same, but the numbers will be smaller. And actually I can. If I divide the top and the bottom by 2, they both have a factor of 2, so I'm able to do that. So 2 divided by 2 would be 1, and 6 divided by 2 would be 3. So I can reduce that fraction to 10 1/3. So you can see I typed in my answer of 10 1/3 pint. Or you could say 10 2 6 pints. Moving on to question 7. Convert the unit of capacity. Yay, no fractions this time. So I just need to know cups to quarts. Let me check my handy dandy table right here. And oh, well, I guess it wasn't that easy after all. It shows me quarts to pints, but not quarts straight to cups. So I'm going to have to kind of do a little math myself to figure out the equivalency. 1 quart equals 2 pints. Now I know that 1 pint equals 2 cups. So I'm going to need to figure out how many cups would be in the quart. So I need to multiply 2 times 2 to figure that out. So if I multiply 2 times 2, that's going to say that 1 quart equals 4 cups. Let me go back here. So 1 quart equals 4 cups. Now, I'm going from cups to quarts. Cups is smaller than quarts. So if I'm going from something small to a unit that is larger, will I multiply or will I divide? I'm going to divide. Hopefully that's what you said. I can't hear you. So let me set up my... Okay, so I put this up here. 1 quart equals 4 cups. So I'm going to divide 36, because I've got 36 cups, and divide it by 4, because there are 4 cups in 1 quart. Now, you may know this if you know your facts, that there is something that will go in with no remainder. 4 times what would equal 36? If you said 9, you're correct. So I've got 9. And that's it. That's my answer. So I'm going to type in 9. And now I'm going to move on to question number 8. Convert the unit of capacity. 7 quarts equals how many pints? Let's click on here. Pints to quarts. Oh, yay. It's right there. That makes it a little bit easier. 1 quart equals 2 pints. Now I'm going from quarts to pints. Which one is bigger? Quarts. So I'm going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit, which means that I will multiply or divide? Multiply. So I'm going to set up my problem again. So I'm multiplying 7 quarts times 2, because there's 2 pints in each quart. So my product, or my answer, is going to be simply 14. I'll check my answer again. Good job. Moving on to question 9. Convert the unit of capacity. 13 cups equal something pints and something cups. So this tells me that we're going to have a remainder or a fraction of some kind. Let's click on cups and pints here. Remember that there are 2 cups in 1 pint. And I'm going from cups to pints. Which one is smaller? Cups, that's right. So I'm going from small to large, which means I'm going to need to divide. Let me set up my problem. So now I have my problem set up. I also wrote here, just for my reference, that 1 pint equals 2 cups, and if I'm going from a smaller unit to a larger unit, I'm going to divide. I have 13, and I'm going to divide it by 2. Well, I already know that 13 is an odd number, so I am going to have a remainder. How many times would 2 go into 13 without going over? Well, I know that 2 times 6 is 12, 2 times 7 is 14, so 7 would be too much. So we'll need to go with 6 times, which would equal 12. So you can see that I put 6 over here, and then I'm going to take 13 and minus 12, which will give me a remainder of 1. So my 6 is going to go here. This is my whole number right here. And my fraction is basically 1/2. Okay, so, but it's a little bit different here. It's 6 and 1/2 pints, but a half a pint we know is actually a cup. So because a cup is already half, I'm just going to put the 1 right here. Okay, so I really could write my answer, to explain that a little bit more, as 6 1/2 pints. Sorry about my 2 there. Okay, but it doesn't want me to write it like that. The way it's set up here, it wants me to write it as pints and cups. And again, I know that 1/2 of a pint is a cup. So I could also write this answer as 6 pints, and 1 cup, which is the way it's asking me to write it. All right, we'll do one more problem today. For question number 10. Convert the unit of capacity, 5 gallons to pints. Let's look at my chart. Gallons to quarts, it tells me, and then quarts to pints, but it doesn't tell me exactly gallons to pints, so I'm going to need to figure this out on my own. It's not too bad, though. I already know that in 1 quart, I have 2 pints. So how many pints would be in 4 quarts? I'd need to multiply. 2 times 4, 8. So therefore, I know that in 1 gallon, I have 8 pints. I'm going to go ahead and write that over here. Okay, so I have 1 gallon equals 8 pints. Now I need to figure out if I'm going to multiply or divide. So I'm going from a unit that is larger, like think of a whole big gallon of milk, to a pint. Okay, and I'm going from bigger or larger. Sorry, I'm having problems writing my L's today. Larger to something that is smaller. So that tells me that I'm going to need to multiply to find my answer. Okay. So what do I need to multiply? Well, I've got 5 gallons. I already know that there are 8 pints in 1 gallon. So I'm just going to need to multiply 8 times how many gallons I have? 5. That's not too bad. 8 times 5 is? That's correct, 40. So then I figured out that 5 gallons is the same as or equal to 40 pints. And I'm going to check my answer. Fantastic. Go ahead and keep working on your own. I hope that this helped you to figure out the steps that you'll need to do in order to solve these problems. Don't forget that you can always click up here for some more question help, or you're welcome to message me or Miss Keneva if you need more assistance. Take care. Miss you guys.